Good morning. I'm here today to welcome the newly
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to V News Now. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. Governor Nathan Deal and Brian Kemp are holding a joint news conference in Atlanta right now. It has just started. We are going to take that live, let you know, and check out what they have to say.
Experienced incredible growth and prosperity. With low taxes and a trained workforce, Georgia was recently named the #1 state for business for the 6th year in a row. State leaders have fully funded public education, saved the Hope Scholarship, invested in school safety, and reformed the criminal justice system. With focus, determination, and a steady hand, they made Georgia the best place to live, work, and raise a family. As governor, I will build on these accomplishments and keep Georgia moving in the right direction. For over 30 years, I've built companies from the ground up, creating jobs and economic opportunity in every part of our state. I know that successes, especially in government service, requires a team of well-qualified, trusted individuals who share that same vision and commitment. My transition team is experienced, it's diverse, and it's ready for heavy lifting. They are proven leaders who will put hardworking Georgians first. I'm excited to announce that Tim Fleming, who has worked by my side for nearly 16 years, will serve as my Chief of Staff. David Dove will be the Director of the Transition. Today we will officially launch the Putting Georgians First Transition Committee. Harold Reynolds, Jamie Reynolds, Chuck Harper, and Mark Middleton will serve as co-chairs of that committee. We will work together in the days, weeks, and months ahead to ensure a smooth transition that keeps our state on the path for prosperity, growth, and opportunity. In addition to having the right team, you need energy and focus. That is why, effective 11:59 a.m. today, I'm stepping down as Secretary of State. I'm proud of what we have accomplished over the years as Secretary of State. We've used technology, innovation to upgrade our systems, enhance cybersecurity, and save taxpayers millions of dollars. We've cut red tape, and we've set records in voter registration, corporate filings, and licensing. It's easy to vote and hard to cheat in Georgia. The numbers underscore this simple truth. My sights are set on Georgia's future, on serving Georgia families, on building a safer, stronger state. And I want to thank Governor Deal for his decades of service to this great state and our nation. He is a man I greatly respect and admire. I look forward to working side by side with his administration to ensure a seamless transition. I also want to thank the people of this great state for putting their confidence in me. As governor, I will spur job creation, lower taxes, cut insurance premiums, and we will work to strengthen rural Georgia and invest in public education. I will partner with the legislature to protect the Hope Scholarship, and I'll stand with law enforcement and prosecutors to keep our families safe. As governor, I will always put hardworking Georgians ahead of politics. Thank you for being here today as we move past the campaign and look forward to a seamless transition. Thank you.
As Governor-elect Kemp has indicated to you, his resignation has been submitted to me and received by me. It'll be effective at 11:59 this morning. We anticipate and expect to swear in an interim Secretary of State. We have asked Robin Crittenden, who is certainly one of the most effective members of our team, to assume that responsibility, and she has agreed to do so. So sometime later today, we will be swearing her in as the interim Secretary of State. Now, this announcement this morning is very important from the standpoint of preparation for the next governor to assume their position beginning next year. Governor Perdue and his staff were gracious to me when I was in this same position, and I appreciated that. And it's important that we bring everyone up to speed as quickly as possible as to what is going to be expected. And after the special session has concluded, we will be including Mr. Kemp in the discussions with regard to the next budget that will be submitted to the General Assembly beginning the early part of his administration. I think that is critically important because we are a large state and there are many functions of our state that cannot afford to have a skip in their performance. I feel sure that will not happen, but we stand ready to continue to assist him in the transition, and my team and I will be fully cooperative in making sure the transition is smooth. I'm going to open it up for your questions now.
This is for Secretary Kemp, I guess the former Secretary Kemp. Why resign now after the election when you had months of criticism from Democrats about being in that role as elections chief throughout your election?
Well, I was never concerned about the criticism I was getting. I think that was purely political. We've had other Democratic secretaries of state serve in their own election many, many times, including a run for governor. I don't feel like anyone was better suited than myself, and not only myself, but our great team that we have at the Elections Division, the great partnership that we have created with the county elections officials that actually run the election day to day. It was unfortunate that the press didn't write enough about that story. We've already had 5 counties, or maybe it's up to 8 now, that have already certified this election at the county level. That means they have counted the votes in their local county. Their bipartisan local elections board has certified the vote count already. There'll be more doing that throughout this week and through the weekend, and I fully expect this election to be certified as quickly as we can get it done, and every eligible vote is counted. So I wasn't ever concerned about that, and I certainly wasn't going to run for my job of making Georgia the most secure, accessible, fair state in the country for elections, and we have done our part to make elections more accessible. So I wasn't really concerned about that, but I think in light of where we are now, this will give public confidence to the certification process, even though, quite honestly, it's being done at the county level. All we do in the Secretary of State's office is make sure that all of that is done properly, and then we do the state certification from the Secretary of State. But this will make sure that process happens with a new Secretary of State that has high integrity and, quite honestly, will be beyond approach of having that questioned. And plus, look, we just won the election. We've got a lot to do to get ready to transition to be the 83rd governor, and that'll focus our attention on that, and that is exactly what I'm going to do after 11:59 a.m. today, as I'll immediately start focusing on the transition and getting ready to be sworn in as the governor.
Mr. Kemp, have you reached out to Abrams' team? There's still no sign of concession from them. Have you had any contact?
No, quite honestly, we're in court this morning, still dealing with a lot of these, quite honestly, ridiculous lawsuits, and we're going to continue to fight that. The votes are not there for her. I certainly respect the hard-fought race that she ran, but that's a decision that she's going to have to make. But we've won the race. It's very clear now, and we're moving forward with the transition.
There are 159 counties in Georgia. By what you just said, 154 of them have not certified the election. How can you say to the millions of people who did not vote for you that there is integrity in our election process when that amount of counties have not certified, but yet we're announcing a winner? What do you say to those people?
Well, I would just tell them that all the votes that we have in other than provisional ballots have been counted in our great state by the county elections officials. The only thing outstanding is about a little over 20,000 provisional ballots. When we made our decision to move forward, we actually thought it was going to be closer to 22,000, so the number is actually lower on the number of provisional ballots. Even if she got 100% of those votes, we still win with a 50% plus one vote majority. Actually, it's much more than that. So we're moving forward with the transition.
Will you be releasing a county-by-county detail of those provisional ballots so that the media and the public can see that?
I can certainly ask about that. I know late last night we didn't have that total. They just told me that literally when I got here this morning. I know the official office has been as transparent as they could getting numbers out, because I know everybody wants to know those, including the Abrams campaign and certainly ours, and I'll check on that as soon as we get done.
Mr. Kemp, your office, when they gave that number of the 22,000 yesterday, they said it came after a canvass of the counties. So how would they have done that canvass, reach that number that they represented to us as a reasonably accurate statewide total?
I'll have to ask them about that. I think that was, that was the number I got. I may be mistaken. I got 2 hours of sleep in the last 48, but we could certainly check on that.
So what would you tell people who believe that you are elected under a cloud of controversy and suspicion?
Well, look, the integrity of the process has been clear in Georgia. This election's been done like many before it. The county certifies the elections. They're the ones that are counting the votes. Their local elections board will be the ones certifying. That's a public meeting where the press and citizens can go to see that. So, the election integrity is beyond doubt in the process. I know, look, it's a very polarizing climate that we've been in. It was a tough election, but we've won, and now I've got to move on. But the process is true and has been for many years in Georgia, and that's another reason that we're going to have a new Secretary of State that certifies the election, to make that clear to Georgians that I understand that, and I want to make sure that they have confidence in the process.
Mr. Kemp, there was a lot of negative campaigning on both sides. What's your plan for moving us past this in terms of bringing the state back together?
Well, it's a very good question. I actually thought about that this morning. It's very similar to the first campaign I ever ran and won, where I beat a Democratic incumbent by a very small margin in the 46th Senate District back in 2002, and was sworn in to serve in 2003. And I got reelected because I did exactly what I told people I was going to do. I served all the people in my district, not just the people that voted for me. And that's exactly what I'm going to do as governor. I'm going to serve this whole state and move forward with the great plans that we have to make Georgia #1 for small business, to reform state government, so we can continue to lower taxes again, like Governor Deal did under the leadership of himself in the legislature last year. I've been focused on strengthening rural Georgia for a very long time. We can do that and work on that, as has been done in the last couple of years, in a bipartisan way. And I think no one would argue that keeping our families safe, building off of the great work that Governor Deal has done with criminal justice reform, doing public safety reform that I've literally been talking about for about 16 months now, is something that Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, and everybody in between can agree on, and that's what we'll do. And I think anybody that has served with me, either in the Secretary of State's office or in the legislature, would tell you that no office in state government has been as accessible to any legislator, no matter what their political party or what the constituent need was, and that's exactly what I'll do as governor.
Secretary of State Kemp, we know there are some election administration issues, like wrong ballots being handed out in Haberton County, Fulton County, DeKalb County. These things happen.
They do.
As governor, are you going to propose any election administration reform legislation?
Well, we're going to definitely move forward on what I've already taken the leadership on, is putting a new voting system in place by 2020. I'm looking forward to working with the legislature. Despite what's written about the voting system many times, it actually takes a change in state law, and it's going to take money in the budget to be able to do that. And that's something that the legislature's got to weigh in on. We worked with them diligently last year during the legislative session, but there wasn't enough support to have a majority on what we need to do moving forward, which is why I created the SAFE Commission. We've already had meetings to give recommendations to the legislature, and I'm looking forward to start meeting with them to see what their thoughts are. The SAFE Commission will continue to go on under Robin's leadership, and they're on a path for us to be able to take that on this year in the legislature.
Governor Deal, given the contentious nature of this election and potential lawsuits down the road, why do you feel it's important to do this now before the election is actually certified?
Well, because as much time as the new governor and their people can have to be prepared, I thought was all the more important. We have no idea how long litigation may continue, and I don't think that the administration of the state can wait that long. Since you've now recognized that I still am in office, let me change the subject just 1 second. I think it's important for those of you who do cover the legislative process to know that the special session that will be starting next week, next Tuesday, we are going to finalize the call for that special session tomorrow. We have been reviewing on a financial basis what the magnitude of that special session should address. I know that the figure of $100 million had been sort of a ballpark figure. It is determined now that that is far too small, that the magnitude of the reforms we're going to ask in the budgetary process will be in the neighborhood of $270 million. I will be working with the leadership of both bodies and letting them take a close look at the details of what that call is going to look like, and then that information will be disseminated to the members of the General Assembly as we approach the beginning of that session next Tuesday. Thank you all for being here today. I hope that you will show the new governor the same degree of courtesy that you have shown to me, and I thank you for that. Thank you.